YouTube has quietly agreed to pay Donald Trump $24.5 million to settle his lawsuit over being suspended after January 6th. Make no mistake, suspending him in 2021 was the correct legal and moral decision. On January 6th, Trump told his supporters to, quote, fight like hell. He's asking them to fight the United States government. There's a word for that. A mob stormed the Capitol, injuring 174 police officers and others. One officer died the very next day because of stress involved with that. One rioter was shot trying to break through a window. She died, and 4 officers later died by suicide. The violence caused $2.7 million in damage. More than 1,400 people were arrested, with over 1,000 pleading guilty. YouTube acted to prevent further violence when they did this in 2021. Good for them. But today, Trump is rewriting history, calling rioters political prisoners and pressuring platforms to pay up. Now, Google may not have TV licenses to lose like Disney and ABC, but it depends on government goodwill for contracts, antitrust rulings, and a lot of regulation. That makes it vulnerable to retaliation. This settlement is more than money. It's a dangerous concession to authoritarian pressure. It tells future presidents they can break the law, inspire violence, and still cash in years later. What's the real message here? YouTube paying Donald Trump $24.5 million for having done the right thing, kicking him off of YouTube after January 6th when he caused the loss of human life. He was fomenting for violence. They did the right thing, paying him money now, saying they think they did something wrong. That's an atrocity. That is yet another sign that democracy as we know it, the rule of law, is over in America today. Let's dig a little deeper. This is profoundly troubling, and it's not getting the attention it deserves because there's so many other crazy things coming out of Washington. And through the sheer power of repetition, conservatives have sort of rewritten this. I mean, I constantly meet people who honestly think either, oh, the FBI was put this up, or it was some kind of, rogue operation. It was a scam, and it was just, it was a touristic event, or it was just people showing up to show their opinions. No, that's not what it was. It was an insurrection. It was a rebellion. It was traitors rebelling against their country and committing traitorous acts. Mary writes in, it's a tool to stop the government do whatever they want. I think you're talking about the shutdown. So Mary, thanks for being here. Glad you're here today. So again, let's not forget, Ashley Babbitt was killed on January 6th, in part because Trump said, come and fight, fight, fight. He was telling people again and again and again an absolute lie that the election had been stolen. It wasn't. No honest person who has a shred of credibility in America, who's analyzed the vote counts, think that anyone other than Joe Biden won the popular and the electoral college in 2020. So Trump promoted a lie again and again and again. And then he said, come to Washington and let's fight like hell. Because so-called radical leftist Democrats were stealing the election. It was lie upon lie upon lie, devoted to motivate people to acts of insurrection and acts of violence. Not to mention the fact that he basically, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, sort of implied, go ahead and hang Mike Pence, my own vice president, if he's not willing to do the dirty work of trying to ignore democracy and install me as president. Everyone, I don't think Mike Pence forgets that, but everyone else seems to forget that Trump was willing to have his own vice president murdered if he didn't do the dirty work Trump wanted. And today we talk about the rise of left-wing hate speech. I don't know if it gets much more hateful than saying, oh, somebody didn't lie for me and give me a job I want. Go ahead, feel free to murder them. I don't know what's more hateful than that. But YouTube, I feel sorry for you. You got to know, nobody at YouTube wanted to pay Donald Trump a penny. But at some point, if you have a business that's generating billions of dollars a day, and you've got so many employees around the world and stockholders to answer to, and you have to face reality as it is. And the reality is, at the moment, the United States is run by a particular president who is insistent on using his power to twist the arms of anyone who doesn't like big corporations, big law firms, big universities. Twist, extort, twist, extort, twist, extort. And I'm sure that they didn't want to do this, but like it's the only way or we're going to be put out of business. These people mean business. They can attack us in many ways. For one thing, they can have the IRS audit every single employee we have, and no one can come to work because they're so busy meeting with their accountants. Even something like that you have to fear in the modern world we live in. And it's absolutely shameful, absolutely disgraceful. So YouTube, I feel for you. You're not the villain here. I wish you would stand up and fight. I mean, if you're the guys, if you're Sergey Brin and the other top shareholders, and you've already got gigantic jumbo private planes, and you're already a billionaire so many times over, your great grandchildren will never have to work. It would be nice to say, you know what, I don't need more money. This costs me money short run. Let's stand up and fight this thug. It would be nice if that happened, but I understand life is complex. All the employees who work for Google are not billionaires. And if they're all out of a job overnight, that is something that's going to hang on the head of the leadership of Google as well.